The life and work of one of Palestine's foremost artists will be featured this weekend in an event in downtown Bloomington a week after it was supposed to debut on the Indiana University campus. It's one more way organizers are protesting IU's cancellation of the artist's long-planned event. Aubrey Wright has more.
The sold-out show, Samuel Halaby Uncancelled, will premiere Saturday at the Buskirk-Chumley Theater. Halaby's family fled Palestine in 1948 and settled in the Midwest. She completed a master's in fine arts at Indiana University in the 60s and later served as a faculty member. She's recognized as a pioneer of abstract art and one of the university's most successful artists. She's in her late 80s now.
Indiana was different for me. Indiana was a very social place. It was a pleasure to be in Bloomington compared to New Haven.
Halaby's team and museum curators prepared her homecoming show for 3 years. The exhibit was supposed to open February 10th, but it was abruptly canceled in December. In a 2-sentence email, the museum director said it was because of security concerns. Halaby's grandniece and collaborator, Madison Gordon, said they tried to learn more from the university for weeks before making the cancellation public in January with a petition.
Asked to have a conversation. We asked for them to elaborate more in writing what this was about. We heard nothing.
IU never responded to Halaby, and it made no announcement of the cancellation. In later interviews, Halaby says this exhibit was supposed to show her love for the Midwest, but she feels like she doesn't have a home here anymore. IU Provost Rahul Shrivastava is the only university leader to speak publicly about the cancellation. He says the art would have been a lightning rod for protests on campus, and IU's leaders were being cautious.
Anytime where you feel the risks are higher than the reward, we have to rethink that situation.
Outrage is spreading on campus.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine! Shame on Britain! Shame on Britain!
Last Friday, faculty members, historians, and artists spoke at a teach-in protest on campus, attended by more than 100 people. Featured speakers talked about academic freedom since the Israel-Hamas war began. They say this kind of censorship doesn't align with IU's history or mission.
I've learned that I have been very, very naive about the state of academic freedom on this campus.
Lichtenstein says canceling a world-renowned artists' exhibition has damaged IU's reputation.
IU is going to be the laughingstock, I would say, of the art world.
IU stands by its decision to cancel the exhibit, so Professor Elizabeth Hausworth created one herself. She organized Saturday's Samuel Halaby Uncancelled with support from Halaby's studio, private donors, and a dent in her own wallet.
This is the event for people who want to understand what we are missing.
The show will dive into Halaby's life, activism, and work. Hausworth says IU is silencing a Palestinian voice when it's needed most. Like many others, she was deeply troubled by the university's vague explanation.
It seemed like we were canceling one side of the issue, and I felt it was wrong.
For Indiana News Desk, I'm Aubrey Wright.
IU has forwarded Halaby's artwork to Michigan State University for an exhibit there in June. Halaby earned her bachelor's degree in East Lansing. Well, we're joined now by Leslie Lenkowski, a professor emeritus in IU School of Public and Environmental Affairs. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So the university cited security concerns. I don't know that we really know what that means. Can you give us a little bit more info on what you think they mean? And is this happening elsewhere?
Yes, it is happening elsewhere. For the past few months, museums and other institutions all around the world have been concerned about essentially pro-Palestinian demonstrations disrupting their activities or even causing destruction. Just last Monday, the Museum of Modern Art in New York City was closed down because of a pro-Palestinian protest. It wasn't directed against any of the artwork. It was directed against trustees of the museum who were thought to be too pro-Israel. Here at IU, the Eskenazi family, which underwrote the museum, is a prominent Jewish family in Indianapolis, been very generous to IU. So I have no first-hand information, but I would not be surprised to know that there were real concerns about security here as there have been elsewhere.
So the pushback against the cancellation claims the university is stifling academic freedom. Where's that balance between academic freedom and free speech?
Well, we also, in addition to protecting freedom of speech and academic freedom, IU also insists on a code of responsibilities and civility for behavior by both students and faculty, and the provisions of that code prohibit certain kinds of conduct that's harassing, including emails, publications, and so on. It is a balancing act. Clearly, the administration has struck a particular balance in this instance. It might not do it in other instances. We also don't know what it is that the IU security people may know, whether they had any information about things being planned. You don't have to look too hard on campus these days to see that security has been ramped up substantially, and that may be the case here too.
You know, IU has also faced accusations from the State House, Jim Banks, one of them that IU is not doing enough to address anti-Semitism on campus. So what more could IU do?
Well, in 2018, Indiana University adopted a widely used definition of anti-Semitism that would, among other things, prescribe some of what we have been seeing chalked or on bridges or elsewhere on campus. IU needs to enforce that rule, which was affirmed by President Whitten in 2022. IU also has a faculty task force on anti-Semitism that reports to the provost, and the provost needs to convene that regularly and solicit its advice.
Thank you so much for coming in today. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.